So I've been pressuring Chris and Robert for several years now, since really mostly Robert, since they joined the Land Sharks. Chris was kind of like the quiet genius in the background, and Robert and I were talking. I actually met Robert in South Carolina at a multifamily event. But I'm like, teach me these mobile homes. Like, you guys own 33 mobile home parks. Teach me how to do this. This is like land on steroids. And finally, they started teaching me. I was getting my way, and I was so happy. And we need to tell you what's making us a pile of money right now. We're buying land. We got land left and right. We got land all over the place, and we're putting mobile homes on this land. And I was like, well, how much are you making? They're like $45,000 average profit. And I was like, well, what's the worst one you've ever made? And I think Chris said 25K because you guys had to bore underneath the road. And I look back at my house flipping days, my best profits were all on mobile homes. And I've put a few mobile homes on land, had no clue what I was doing. I wasn't getting the best pricing. I wasted thousands of dollars on like almost six to $8,000. Can't remember now. This was back in 2020 on just porches that I messed up on because I attached it to the mobile home. It had to be freestanding. So little things like that Robert and Chris had already kind of been there, done that because they've done a lot more of these. So I'm excited to do this today. So guys, take us out. Let's start. Let's run with this.
All right. Appreciate that intro, Brent, and really excited to be here. We work day in and day out on these projects, and I love jumping on these calls and then our weekly land home calls that we do. It's always fun to teach people about what we're doing. The goal of this is really to show you the ins and outs of what we're doing, answer any questions that you have, and feel free, as we said, to interrupt us as we go throughout the process. I cannot see everybody that's on the call because I'm sharing my screen, but so just raise your hand and Brent or Chris will stop us as we go. But let's hop right in. I'm Robert Howell and based and live in Clemson, South Carolina. So in the upstate of South Carolina, if you're not familiar, it's near Greenville. And I've been doing real estate investing for about 6 years. Before that, I was in marketing. I did event marketing around the world for Coca-Cola, Delta Airlines, John Deere, eBay. Did a lot of cool things. When COVID hit, I was like, man, I've got to do more real estate. I don't know if there's ever going to be an event again. And so really started to dive deep into real estate. I own a bunch of mobile home parks in the upstate of South Carolina and one kind of the Midlands of South Carolina. And through that, got my mobile home dealer's license and said, hey, if I have my dealer's license and I can buy direct from the manufacturers, I might as well buy some land and do land home packages, and fell in love with it. It's a lot of fun doing the projects, but even more importantly, offering an affordable housing solution to people that really are getting squeezed out of the market. And anyhow, so that's me, and we'll provide our contact information later should you want to reach out. But go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, by the way, I want to say, Brent, I really like that nickname of the quiet genius in the background. I think I'll get used to that one.
I knew you'd like that. I knew you'd like that.
Yeah, I'm Chris. I appreciate everyone jumping on here. I don't have as lovely of a story as Robert does. I was going to school in Kennesaw, which is down in Atlanta, about 7 years ago or 8 years ago, something like that. And I was having a little too much fun. I ended up getting hooked on drugs and got arrested. I dropped out of college. I was 20 years old. I thought I'd start a pressure washing company. I was broke, living in my mom's basement, and dropped out of college just trying to figure things out. And had a pressure washing business. Long story short, was washing guys' houses all the time. He inspired me to get into real estate. One thing led to another. I was wholesaling houses and land for a while. Got into flipping. Was picking up rental properties along the way. I've got about around 150 doors now. I don't remember exactly because I'm always buying or selling something. And I got into mobile home parks as well, and that's how Robert and I met. We were competing for the same deal, and you guys already know who ended up winning that. It was yours truly here. But I think Robert became my arch nemesis ever since that day. And we teamed up, bought some mobile home parks together, buying land and doing the new mobile homes. And yeah, I got sick of losing money on flipping houses, and so Robert and I stumbled into doing new mobile homes on land. Brent, you might want to introduce yourself as well. I don't know if everyone knows who you are or not.
Yeah, there's a few faces on here, names I don't recognize. So, guys, my story is I really just wanted to get out of the military back in 2015 when we had our first baby. He was a year, Zechariah. For those of you that know him, he was over a year old, and I'd only been around him about 2 months out of his life. So I found land investing, and I built a passive income of almost 12,000 a month within about 18 months of buying and selling vacant land that no one wanted. Like, this is land no one wanted. And then I eventually moved into better land deals. And just, I've really just enjoyed doing land deals. And, I've put mobile homes on some of them, some of them being over $97,000 net profit on some of these parcels of land that we put mobile homes on. But I didn't really put two and two together until you two gentlemen told me that you guys had pretty much built a conveyor belt and a system of it. I've done maybe total now 10 mobiles at this point. So I don't call myself an expert on mobile homes, but I'm actually doing 3 right now in Okeechobee as we speak. But I am an expert on finding the land, and we have the success from the land sharks to show this as well.
All right. Thanks, Brent. Appreciate that, and really happy to join up with Brent on this. Finding land is a really, really big part of what we do, and Brent has been invaluable to help us find land more efficiently and effectively. So I'll start here, and then I'll turn it over to Chris here in a minute. But what are land home packages? Some of this may be basic for y'all that are in real estate investing. Some of this may be new information, but land home is really simple. So we acquire land. So we're looking for land to purchase that are suitable for mobile homes. Not all land is suitable for mobile homes, but we're going to buy that land. Once we buy the land, we're going to clear it, and we'll go through the details of that, of every step. We're going to prepare it for a mobile home, order that mobile home from a manufacturer, and then we're going to install that on the land. A brand new, spanking new double wide, or maybe sometimes a single wide mobile home. It's going to be installed on that lot, and then we're going to sell that land and the home as a package together to most likely a FHA buyer. It could be a VA buyer, it could be a USDA, it could be a cash buyer. We sold all of the above, but most of the time, 90% of the time, we're selling as a package to an FHA buyer. Again, we're trying to address the affordable housing. FHA provides a pathway for a first-time homeowner to purchase a house, and we're glad to be able to provide that. So, Chris, you want to talk through this, the next few slides?
Yeah, well, it's interesting with all the turmoil in the market as of recently. Why now it seems to be a pretty decent time to be doing this. As everyone knows, I mean, affordable housing has been a problem for a long time, and it's not getting any better, at least that we're seeing right now. Mobile homes, of course, offer the most affordable form of housing. To give you some perspective, in our market, we're in Greenville, South Carolina. I believe the median home price, I want to say, is around 400,000, give or take a little bit. We're selling these mobile homes for 220. So we're at roughly 50% of the median home price in our market. And as Robert was just saying, these are brand new mobile homes in awesome shape. And we'll show you pictures of some here in a little bit. It's not what you think of when you think of a mobile home. But what we're finding is that there's such a strong demand for this product type because people need something somewhat affordable to live in. And even with the prices of rents getting jacked up and all that, they can actually buy these mobile homes for cheaper than what they're paying in rent every month. So we're still seeing these sell really, really well. I do have some friends that flip a lot, and sometimes they're doing the $300,000-$400,000 houses, and they're having a lot of their houses sit right now, and I think they're struggling a little bit. Not blood in the streets or anything like that, but things are definitely slower for them, and we're seeing a little bit of a slowdown, but nothing that's substantial or making us want to stop. There's still a really strong demand for these. One of the main reasons that we decided to go down this avenue was number one, security. So when we were flipping houses, you can find some starter homes to flip in the same price points that we're selling these in, but they're not as common. And so what we were finding was we were going and putting in $250,000 into a house to flip and hopefully selling it for, call it 310 or whatever. So we're basically risking $250,000 to go make $40,000 or $50,000. Whereas with these, our all in and our market, including land and everything, is around 150,000. And we're selling it for, like I said earlier, the 215, 220 kind of price point. So we're only risking $150,000 to make the same amount of money that we were making when we were flipping houses. So that's one big reason. There's less debt. They're selling a lot better. You're getting the same kind of margins that we were getting when we were flipping houses. The other reason was simplicity. As everyone in here knows, if you've ever flipped a house, there's no such thing as a simple house flip. Once you get in there, you find out, oh, this is wrong, or that's wrong, or there's termites, or the electrical is bad, needs to be rewired. There's always something, and there's always a surprise. Where with these, you're getting a brand new house from the manufacturer that's already been inspected before it left the factory. You know what you're getting every single time, and if something's wrong, the factory will pay to fix it. So this allowed us to really create a streamlined process where Robert and I can do. I mean, we've got, I don't know, 18 or something of these going right now simultaneously, and it's just him and I on the team. I mean, we don't have this big team or a bunch of people working for us. But with this process, you can streamline it and you can easily do this at scale a lot easier than you can flipping houses. And then, of course, the last part of it is just the high resale value, meaning that these are really attractive product. People at these price points are dying to get into, and they don't really have any other comparable option of these. So, like I was mentioning earlier, we're seeing them sell really, really well still, all things considered. We really compare it to flipping houses because that's kind of the most similar thing to this. It's short-term money, just like flipping houses is, or flipping houses should be. There's a couple of differences though. As far as finding deals, when we're doing land home, we're looking for land because we're bringing the home. And we found that buying land is a lot easier than buying a good house to flip. The reason being is everyone and their mom wants to be the HGTV star that's out there flipping a house and, oh, look at what we did to this kitchen. And everyone's inspired to go do that. And there's so many gurus on the internet talking about flipping houses or wholesaling houses or whatever. So 90% of investors are out there chasing houses, but not many of them are chasing land because there's kind of a bit of a learning curve to land and there's more to it and it's less sexy, let's be honest. Um, the other thing is with flipping houses, Robert and I can't even count how many times we had gotten some deals. We were gonna be like, man, we're making 40,000 on this house, and we're gonna do awesome. And then we had one where we thought we were making 40. Come to find out, this is like 3 months ago. Come to find out, we lost 10 grand. And we're like, how the hell did that happen? And our bookkeeper showed us everything, and we thought we were in the money on that one. And so with flipping houses, there's so many surprises and things that pop up that when you think you're making 40 or 50,000, next thing you know, you made 5,000. And we went through that so many times and got so frustrated with it. Whereas with these land home packages, our profits are really consistent because, like I said, it's the same thing every single time. And there's only a handful of surprises that you can have or that we have had. But now that we know what to look out for, we haven't had that problem. So, for example, one main surprise, we bought this lot and it's on sewer. Well, come to find out, the sewer line was across the street, which means we had to bore underneath the road to tap into it. So our costs for sewer went from $5,000 to $15,000. But ever since that happened, we now know, hey, whenever we buy land that's on sewer, let's find out where the sewer line is. So where I'm going with that, with land home, once you know what mistakes to look out for, you can prevent that. Whereas with flipping houses, you can't really prevent it necessarily because there's always going to be things that you didn't see or termites or something that'll pop up. As far as timeline on these, I've had houses that took me literally a year to get done and flip. With land home, if we bought a piece of land today, we will be set up and on the market within 3 to 4 months. So it's really consistent. Usually we can do it within 3 months, but that'll kind of depend on weather and contractors. So I would say to be safe, plan on 4 months to be on the market. There are a lot of challenges that come with land home. So of course, those are all the benefits. The main challenges that Robert and I ran into, the first one was education, because there's no one on the internet talking about this. And so when Robert and I came up with this idea about a year and a half ago to do, or 2 years ago, to do these, we didn't have anyone that we could turn to ask questions. I mean, we had never developed land before. We'd owned a lot of mobile home parks together, so we had moved homes and done a lot of setup with mobile homes, but we had never developed land and put brand new ones out there and did what we're doing now. And so we just kind of had to fumble through a lot of it. Another problem that we really ran into was funding the deals. So a lot of banks or hard money lenders don't like land and they don't like mobile homes. Well, we're putting the two together. So you can imagine how many hard money lenders are excited to lend on that. So that was kind of a challenge for us at first. And we found a good bit of lenders since then, and they're out there. But that was a big challenge at first because, as I said earlier, we didn't have any resources or anyone we could turn to try to figure out who would lend the money on these kind of things. So we just kind of had to fumble through that. The zoning issues and the knowledge for developing land, that was also an issue because, like I said, we had never developed land before. And so we did not know what we didn't know. And so going through the county, and I mean, quick example, we had bought this lot that we thought was going to be great here in Greenville. Well, come to find out, it was in an HOA, and we didn't know that. We go put a mobile home on it. We close on the land. We put the mobile home out there, and then our partner that was funding the deal gets something in the mail saying he's getting sued and he's getting served because the neighbor was mad that we were putting a mobile home next to him, and the title insurance, or the title company rather, didn't catch that this was in an HOA and it had these restrictions. So all of a sudden, we're getting served a lawsuit because we're violating these deed restrictions. Anyways, we got all that resolved, and it turned out we just had to move the home off, and we lost some money on that. But things like that we just had no idea about or didn't even think about came up, and we didn't have any real resources to help us through this. So it was kind of challenging at first, but we believed in the product and we knew that it would work if we could just figure these little kinks out. And then the other thing was the dealer's license. When you have a mobile home dealer's license, that allows you to go directly to Clayton Homes or Champion Homes or insert whatever manufacturer you want, and you can get brand new houses at wholesale prices. So to give you some perspective, the houses that Robert and I paying $60,000-$70,000 for, if you go to the Clayton lot on the side of the street, they're going to charge you $130,000 for that same exact house. So by having this license, you're able to really generate profit by going directly to the manufacturer and getting them at wholesale prices. Generally speaking, it's not that bad to get. South Carolina is one of the worst states to get it in, is what we've heard. We both got ours though, so if we can do it, I think you can too. Each state's different. If you're interested in looking at that for your particular state, I would Google, manufactured home dealer's license or retailer license in South Carolina or in Georgia or wherever you are. Robert, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
All right, let's look at a couple success stories. We have two here that I will show you. This is a home that we did last year, and this is in Piedmont, South Carolina, which is just outside of Greenville. Great little house, and we sold it for $229, profited about $40K on this one. Nice house, and just wanted to show you some pictures. It's not what you think of as you think about a trailer or a mobile home or even a mobile home park, right? This is drywall on the inside, nice stainless steel appliances, good colors to pick from, really wide open. This is 4-bedroom, 2-bath home, and has everything that you could wish for. This is a lot that we actually purchased from a wholesaler in Greenville, and it was inside of a mobile home community. There used to be a mobile home here that had been taken away, and so it was a nice lot for us because it already had septic and already had water on it, but turned out to be a really good win for us. I'll show you another one, and this is in Daphne, South Carolina, and this is almost directly in between Greenville and Charlotte. Different house model. This is a front porch model on the hitch side. So this lot was a little skinnier and a little tighter of a lot, but you can see here it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I think it's about 1,300 square feet. The porch comes built in already to the house, so we just had to do the stairs, and turned out really nice. Again, this one was a drywall home again. So this is a really good one. I'm going to just bring up kind of one that we just did recently. Actually, this just sold, I think, last week. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square foot house. This is the reason I wanted to show you this one is because this was a panel board house. So you can see the difference, like a drywall house. Let me just show you. There's no seams in the drywall house, so it looks like just your regular house. Whereas inside a panel board, wallboard house, you can see there's seams in between each of the panels. This is a less expensive house, and this was an area where we felt like we may have a little bit of trouble selling. There was a single wide on the right-hand side of this house, an older single wide. Turns out the neighbor was just awesome. He was a really great guy. But then to the left of the house was an old abandoned double wide. And this house sold in the first weekend, which is great. And we just closed on it last week. We ended up profiting, I think, about $38,000 on this one. This one in Gaffney, this sold within a month. And it's in the city limits. They still allowed mobile homes in the city limits. A little bit of a rougher neighborhood, but we listed it for $195, and we were still able to make, because we only paid $5,000 for the lot, we were still able to make almost $40,000 on this one. So those are a couple examples that we wanted to show you that we've done in the last year. We're currently aiming for 3 to 4 houses a month. And so we've got lots of other examples and lots of, as Chris said, lots of active projects. So we're staying busy in all different areas. So Brent, as we mentioned, Brent is really the land expert, and he has shown us all the ins and outs of how to find land. If you're a real estate investor, you probably know how to find deals already, but he's really shown us the method via direct mail, mostly on how to find land, and we'll have him touch on that. I think he had to grab another call real quick.
I'm here.
Oh, you're
yes,
here? Okay, go, Brent. Sorry.
Yes, guys. I want to break it down in some really simple methods on how we're finding land for these mobile home deals. What's really been cool is, we've been able to find stuff that's listed on the MLS, the multiple listing service, stuff at full retail. For some of these, a couple of the lots I just bought, we actually paid about full retail for it, and it's still gonna pencil out. We'll make about $47,000 per land mobile home package. So we call it a package, the land and the house. But first, you want to find your playground. How do you do that? You can get on Redfin. You can look up where mobile homes are for sale, and then the best thing is to see ones that have sold. Now, don't get frustrated or just let down or defeated if you don't see any like brand new ones selling. A lot of times you're going to see like 1992s and 96s and 87s, maybe some newer ones like 2010, but it's like, oh, I don't see any 2024s or 5s available or 2023s that have sold. Just know that yours is going to go for more. It's hard to see the exact number, but if you figure that worst case scenario, if yours still pencils out on a 1992 mobile home that's selling, then your brand new one's definitely going to pencil out. It's like that brand new car smell. Why do people go out and buy brand new cars and get ripped off on the dealership, on the lot? Because that new car smell. No one's ever lived in it. No one's ever sat in it. So it's the same thing with these brand new mobile homes. These things are beautiful. We're upgrading it with drywall and the nice master bathroom and the stand-up tub and the separate walk-in shower. Like the lady walks in here, and we all know the women buy the house. They make the final decision. She sees that bathroom and she's buying it. And we could do little additions like we like to do. We got to serve the men too. We put a blow-up hot tub on the back porch and a kegerator full of Busch Light. But that helps as well. But first, you find the playground. And once you find that area, you actually want to price out what that land is selling for in that area. And then you pull a list of those landowners and send them what we call the land offer letter. It's a LOL. Guys, you can get a copy of that. I'll drop in the chat. But go to thelandsharks.com/LOL. Start taking action today from this training. Don't just let this be more education for you. And then there's some other marketing. And then we got the motivated seller script. Basically, I'll break that down. It's like, hey, tell me a little bit about the land. Well, a lot of times they just fill out that LOL. They sign it and send it back. But if they call and negotiate, that's where the motivated seller script comes in. Hey, tell me a little bit about the land. What do you think it's worth? How did you come up with that amount? If I can pay cash and close quickly, what's the least you would take? And then zip your mouth and put the phone on mute. And then no matter what they say, oh man, okay, is that the best you can do? And then see where it goes. Like that one line has like saved us lots and lots of money buying land. And you got to be willing to do it. You got to get a little uncomfortable. It's going to be very uncomfortable saying that if it's the first time you've ever done it. And then after they say that amount, say, hey, is it okay if I call you back in like a couple hours? I'm going to do some due diligence, some research. I need to call the county. And then Yeah, like it says, finalize the purchase. Don't overcomplicate this. It's vacant land. Now, what do you want to know? You want to know it's buildable. Call the county, the building department, the regional building department, the planning and zoning, all these things. Like, we were just looking at a lot. We just canceled the contract. Part of it was in flood zone X, which is great buildable area in Florida, but another part had flood zone A. And I'm 200 feet from the flood zone or less, so I need flood insurance. And I'm gonna have to bring in 18,000 worth of dirt. So I said, cancel the contract. Cancel the contract. We can buy better land that's already ready. We don't need more wet Florida land. So that's kind of the skinny on finding the land in Florida, or not Florida. Sorry, finding the land to put these on. You know, it works. It works. In South
not only in
Carolina
Florida, but everywhere.
Yeah. I'm just building in Florida. I'm not building.
You got your mind on Florida.
Yeah, Florida's on my mind.
All right, let's talk about underwriting. And Brent touched a bit on the underwriting. When we underwrite a deal and we get something under contract, we're typically asking the seller for 30 to 60 days of due diligence. With land, it seems in our experience, people are in less of a rush. You know, a lot of times you buy a house, it's like, hey, I need to buy it. You need to close within 2 weeks, or you need to close within 3 weeks because they need to move, or maybe you're competing against another buyer that says they can close quickly. But land, we found it's a bit different. And so we're trying to get 30 or 60 days. Reason we do that is so that we can fully underwrite it and fully estimate out before we move forward. So we're going to get contractor estimates on every aspect of the project, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. We're going to confirm the comps that we used during kind of our negotiation tactics and the negotiation session, but we're going to confirm those with a realtor, and we're going to look at used mobile homes. We're going to look at stick built, and as Brent mentioned, or Chris mentioned, a lot of times new mobile homes are not available for a comp, but sometimes they are. And, you know, in our area, we're building the market a bit so that there will be more comps in the future. And then we're going to partner with experienced realtors to help us with those comps and help us project what things are going to sell for. We always ask our realtor, we're like, hey, give us the price that we'll sell in the first weekend, give us the price that we're going to have to sit on it for 30 to 60 days, and give us the price that maybe we're going to have to sit on it for 60 days or longer. And our opinion, we always go for that. Let's sell it the first weekend. So what are some of the steps after contracting? This is the part that I love. This is the part that I live day in and day out. That's probably why I have more gray hair than Chris and Brent. But after we contract the land, we're in the due diligence. We've already done a little bit of what we saw on the previous slide. But first step is we're going to confirm the zoning and the utilities. So we're pretty familiar with all of the counties around our areas where we're executing these deals. Some of them, in terms of confirming the zoning, we have to go up to the office to do. Some of them have an online form where we can submit a zoning verification request, and they'll email us back a letter. And some of them, you just email a person in the office and they'll email you back with confirmation on the zoning. That's really important because, as we probably could all guess, mobile homes are not loved in every aspect or every city or every area. So we want to make sure that the land that we buy actually can be used for a new mobile home. I always encourage our team and people that we work with that make sure you have that zoning confirmation on letterhead. That's really important because if that person that told you it was okay happens to leave, then you want to have that in a formal letter. Next would be utilities. So you want to confirm some of the utilities. That could be water availability. Is there water available, or are you going to have to do a well? Is there sewer available, or are you going to have to do a septic? If you're going to have to do a septic, then you're going to want to do a soil test, and you want to check the soil, make sure that it can actually accommodate a septic tank. And then, of course, power. You're going to want to make sure that you have power and that the power company will service it and what it's going to cost to get power there. Encroachment issues. So encroachment for us most of the time is around driveway encroachments, and whether we're purchasing just one parcel or maybe we're purchasing a larger parcel and we're going to subdivide it into multiple lots. We want to ensure that either the county or the Department of Transportation is going to allow us to put driveways on those parcels. And here in South Carolina, there is there's rules or laws that at least the DOT follows that, and the counties generally follow, that they're not going to prevent you access to your property, but it's better to check that ahead of time and make sure that formally they're going to allow for that driveway encroachment and understand what the rules are for that encroachment. Contractor quotes we talked about in the previous slides, and then we're going to make a site plan. I actually wrote down on my notes here as we were talking, I have 3 site plans to do. We have a great freelancer that does site plans for us, and he usually gets them back pretty quickly in a day or 2. But we use that site plan to make sure that the house can actually fit with all the different utilities that need to go there and with the setback requirements that we learned during the zoning confirmation and zoning verification. All right, so now we have successfully checked everything out. We feel comfortable. We're going to go ahead and close on the property, and we're going to purchase the land. And this is where it starts to get really fun. And we've set up a streamlined process to follow after closing. So after closing, we're going to order the house. As you do more and more of these, you might get more comfortable to order a house before you close. I'd encourage you to consider that, but only if you're very confident that it's going to close. We typically do it after the title work is complete. If the title work's complete, we know it's a clear lot, then we're good to order the house and get it ready to ship. So then that way it arrives sooner. Before the house gets there, we're going to grade the land, and we're going to make sure that we have a nice mobile home pad developed. As we've done these more and more, we've kind of leaned more towards, hey, let's clear the whole lot so there's nothing in the way. We don't have any issues. We're going to pull the permit before the house arrives. I'll give you an example. I have a house that's arriving in Anderson next week, and I pulled that permit like 3 weeks ago because I just want to have the comfort level that I've ordered a house and I know that it can actually be permitted on that lot. Now I went through all the proper steps to confirm the zoning, talk with the county, confirm utilities, and so on. But until I have that permit in hand, I don't have any formal approval to put a mobile home there. So we're going to pull that permit before the house arrives. We're going to do concrete footers in some cases, and in some other cases, we're not going to do concrete footers. Just depends on the situation and the soil that we're using or that the land has. Once the home arrives, we're going to install it. So that's going to be block and tie down. And we have a mobile home setup crew that does that. And in lots of markets, in every market, usually there's a few mobile home setup companies that will do this for you. And so the home arrives on site, they meet it there, they move it onto the site, and then they're going to block and tie that house down. So they're going to set it up on the piers, and then they're going to strap it down so it's permanently attached to the property, and then they're going to put a roof cap on the 2 pieces so it doesn't leak inside. Once that's done, you can start to do the trim out inside the house. So imagine these double wides arrive, and it's 2 pieces, 2 separate trailers that are coming down the road. When they get there, the mobile home setup guy, he puts them together. And so where he's put them together needs to be finished out because the factory has not done that. And so you'll hire a company that'll do that. They'll trim it out on the inside, and then on the outside where they've connected on the ends, they're going to do the vinyl siding and make sure that it looks good on the outside. At that point, you'll connect the utilities to the house. You're going to have an engineer do the foundation for FHA compliance. You're going to build the decks. We typically, from a deck standpoint right now in this market, we're doing just 4x5 decks and just kind of going with the smaller decks. If we have a really nice view or a really nice backyard, we may do a larger deck in the backyard, just allow for a grill and for some areas to hang out and maybe have a cookout or have a party. But most time we're trying to keep this as affordable as we can. And so we build a smaller deck. And if later the home buyer decides they want a bigger deck, they can go and build that later. We'll install an HVAC unit on the home. And then we're going to do the driveway, of course, the mailbox. And then there's a few other finishing details that we need to do to get the house ready to list. As Chris mentioned, when the house arrives and we've purchased the land, our goal is to get the land cleared. I'll give you an example. We have a lot that's closing on April 21st. And it's a wooded lot. So on April 22nd, I'm going to get that lot cleared that day, assuming there's no rain. It's going to take a couple days. So 22nd, let's call it 24th, 25th, it's done. He's cleared the lot. The grader's prepared a pad for me. Well, that home is going to deliver the first week of May. that home delivers first week of May, then I can keep moving and go through all these steps really quick. My goal in that instance is by the end of May, I've got a house ready to go, ready to list on the market because I want to get to the summer market. So you figure that's about 4 to 6 weeks, and that's humming, and we're doing lots of volume. So our contractors prioritize us in terms of getting us on the schedule because of the volume that we're doing. As you're doing this, it may take you 8 to 12 weeks, but these can be pretty quick, after closing if you've got everything lined up and you're clearly communicating to the contractors that you're working with. All right, Chris, Brent, over to you.
Brent, are you here right now?
All right, so you want me to take it?
Yeah,
right, so part of this, guys, you can make money with these strategies as far as getting the best pricing. Like the more you do, the economy of scale. Like Robert and Chris, you guys are building 10 in one spot. But the easiest way to make the most profit on these is getting the land at a discount. And it doesn't have to be like crazy, like 50 cents on the dollar type stuff. But if you can get like maybe $10, $15, $20,000 off on the land, one, it gives you buffer, room for error. Two, it gives you more profit. So finding the deals and negotiating the prices is probably the first step in the process. Then you want to talk to, obviously you guys already spoke on the zoning and utilities and the setup. That's kind of where there's more work involved. That's where it's almost like the checklist is best to have to make sure that these are allowed. I know Chris and Robert, you guys have that scenario where you guys were like got that letter you had mentioned, but it's fairly easy when you see you're buying in a neighborhood and everything in the area is mobile homes as well as already zoned for mobile homes. And then obviously running the numbers to ensure there's profitable deals. Guys, this is addition and subtraction. Like the numbers are probably the easiest part, but I think it's the scariest thing for most people. You can double check your numbers, you can triple check your numbers, and you could not believe the numbers. Obviously, we always look at worst case scenario. We have an oops factor. We want to know as close as we can, but you're never going to be dead on. So trust your numbers, trust the fact that you can. Well, trust that the calculator is adding and subtracting correctly. All right, so I'll take this part, guys. Are we doing 8 people this time? Because I know we did 8 on the first one, and then we took 7 on the second group. Are we taking another 8, or are we lowering it? 5. Okay, I thought it was 5. Okay, just wanted to clarify. So, guys, we've already ran this a couple months ago. This was beta. We were basically beta testing this. We brought in 8 people. 6 out of 8 of those guys are doing mobile home. Actually, no, 7. I think Brad's doing now. So 7 out of 8 of them. We just got. I think Kyle left, but I mean, this guy has a multi-million-dollar company that's got hit the what I call the golden handcuffs on him. So he's changing some things around so he can start building. But 7 out of 8 of those guys are doing mobile home packages after a few months. The second round, we took 7 people on. I'm not tracking the data on those guys, how many of those guys are actually doing mobile home land package deals. But do you know, Chris or Robert?
I want to say 5. I could be wrong.
All right, 5 out of 7, that's dang good. And the reason why is because they're getting 4 calls a week. They're getting the ability to do one-on-one calls with each one of us. They also have access to Bill Rafter and the Land Sharks, which he's like a gold mine of information, like a Rolodex. So they have all of that, and the support, the checklist, the step-by-steps, the numbers. And what's really cool is we're starting to get dealers in several states: Arizona, California, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida. What am I missing? Is there one in North Carolina? There you go, North Carolina. I know we got people there. I didn't know there was a dealer's license there yet. So we're taking on 5 more people. We're going to one-on-one coach you. The one-on-one coaching is just for a year. The access to the course, the Land Sharks course, how to find, buy, sell land, create a business out of it, as well as the Land Home League. That's lifetime access. And as things update and improve, you see the updates and the improvements, but you're not going to need us after a year. You're not going to need the one-on-one coaching after a year. So we're bringing on 5 people. It's a lot of work for us, but we benefit from it as well. You're probably like, why are you guys telling the secrets? Well, here's what's really cool about what we do. we now have people sending money our way because we're signing. We're putting our assets on the line. Me, Robert, and Chris, we are getting money lent to us to build these mobile homes and buy the land. So we're putting we're signing, corporate guarantees, personal guarantees, and guaranteeing the land. So we can even fund your deals. Now, let me just tell you, we will not fund a bad deal. We will not fund a bad deal. I want to see a minimum 40,000 profit if I'm going to fund it. But this is where we win. We get to do more deals and with other people, not just by ourselves. So you're probably like, if you're wondering like, why are you guys giving the secrets away if it's so good? Well, here's why. Because we're getting to do more deals and we charge for this. It's expensive. It's not cheap. We're going to charge you to teach you all of this, the stuff that we've taken years to learn and spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on education. And I didn't mess up. I absolutely have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my coaching and my education. I don't know how much Robert and Chris spend. Robert's literally at a seminar every month, I swear. So he's probably spent way more than me or Chris. I don't know if Chris ever leaves his house. I think he just collects money from his $150. But
I didn't know Robert was calling it a seminar. He's always at the beach. We might be talking about
is that where it's at? Maybe they're doing. I hear about these guys doing seminars on cruise ships now. Like that's next level.
All right.
That's right.
All right, next slide. I can't talk anymore about this one. All right, join our we're limiting it to 5 people. We got to update these slides.
5 people. I'll update that.
We do 4 calls a week, 2 for the Land Sharks, 2 for Mobile Home League. And what's really cool is we're looking at deals live. You're hearing other people's wins. You're getting other people's results and seeing their wins, seeing how much they're paying. So it's not just us 4, including Bill, Robert, Chris, myself. You're hearing from other people doing deals. You want to run marathons, you hang out with people that run marathons. So what are you getting? You get step-by-step instruction to profits. And we're not going to educate you. We're going to give you instructions so you can take action and get a result as quick as possible. So you give you the instruction, you take the action. We're not going to do it for you. You guys might think I'm a jerk, but I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. This is work. You absolutely must spend, well, you guys tell me, to get this off the ground, I tell people 2 hours a day for getting their land business off the ground. Mm-hmm. And we got multiple land sharks doing over $1 million a year net profit. And I know the difference between net and gross. Net is what you keep, guys. Gross is that big, sexy number we all want to talk about and share, which I'm guilty of it. But it's all about what you keep. So I say 2 hours a day for land. And I've trained now 600 people how to buy and sell land since 2018. What would you say to get a land mobile home package off the ground, the first one in 6 months? How much time would they need to spend every day?
Dude, I think your 2 hours is plenty. Okay. I mean, to be honest with you, like as Chris said, we probably have right now. I counted up. Actually, yesterday somebody asked me how many we got going. We have 30 going right now between land that we own and whatever. And I mean, that's a lot, right? I mean, that is a ton of deals. But on a single deal, I'd say I'm spending on average over the life of that deal, maybe 10 hours. Once we have identified the land.
Right, 10 hours per deal to make 40,000 profit.
Yeah, all day average. Long, right? Yeah.
So how much is that per hour? I need my calculator. Is that like
4,000?
4,000 an hour. Like that's nuts.
And that's no exaggeration either. I mean, I'm spending a lot of time working in this full time because we've got so many deals going. But as you think about, hey, do I want to do this? Do I not? Imagine you do 2 of these a year and you add $80,000 to your annual income for 20 hours of work. Let's say worst case, you think we're lying, 40 hours of work, right? Like I think I'd do that all day long.
Love it. Absolutely. All right. So next is the hand holding, the one-on-one for 12 months. Just the one-on-one is all we're limiting to 12 months. Everything else is lifetime access.
Let me talk about this real quick, Brent.
Go ahead.
So the one-on-one support, I know between me and Chris and Brent, if people are struggling to find land, but we are talking with people that are in this program every single day, whether that be text message or, it could be setting up calls. We do a Zoom. I'm probably on a Zoom every other day, just helping people. And yeah, it's great that I can help people and get paid for it. But honestly, we like helping people and seeing success. and seeing different projects. And I'd be lying to tell you if I didn't learn something every single week that
Oh
I didn't
shoot,
know,
yeah.
right? Because doing a deal in Florida is a little bit doing it different than doing a deal in South Carolina.
Oh yeah, it's way
Um,
harder in Florida. We got alligators. You guys don't have anything like scary like that.
but all that being said is like, we're really serious in terms of like, hey, call us any time of the day, any time of the night, and we're going to help you to be successful.
Well, Robert's way nicer than me. I
Yeah,
won't take a call past like 5 o'clock at night.
it's
Um,
true. Even for
but
me.
yeah. So there are limits. Obviously, we have lives and families and business as well, and I think everyone knows that. And I tell people all the time, if you don't make money in the first 90 days in the land sharks, like you don't get paid on your first land deal, you and I need to be talking weekly. And like the people that take me up on that get a deal within a few months. So it's just there's work. You gotta have the blind faith at first to send out these offer letters to do the deals. Like this, like if this works for me, it could work for anybody else. If it works for Chris, it could work for other people with a step-by-step system. So access to the funding, that's huge. Guys, that's taking a lot of work. And it's also risky on our parts because we got to make sure it's a good deal if we're going to put money behind it and or sign lending documents saying that we'll pay that money back. That's the biggest thing I think people understand that this is a concept that could make a ton of money doing it, but there's people out there that can find deals, but they don't believe the money will come. And I think if we're bridging that gap. So lifetime access to the Land Sharks method. This is my entire land business. 2 calls a week. You get access to Bill as well in the support group. Bill is, I couldn't do it without him, honestly. And then you get my cell phone number as well. You can do one-on-ones with me. Again, I'll walk you through a mobile home deal, but I'm more the expert on finding the land. The marketing programs, access to operations, the tools we're using, the community, huge, absolutely huge. You're hanging out with other people doing
Communities,
deals.
yeah, community's huge. I'll give you an example from even yesterday. And I don't know if Justin's still on the phone.
I don't know if
Justin,
Justin Melquest is here still or not.
Justin dropped off, but Justin was on the phone. He's in the community. He's down in Florida. We have several guys that are in Florida that have already purchased land, have already ordered mobile homes, installing mobile homes. And Justin is in Florida. He's just getting started. Just started last month. He has a piece of land under contract, and he had developed a budget. We got on the call, and for 30 minutes, Justin's going over his budget, and we're just like, "Hey, we budgeted $7,500 for a septic. Is that enough in Florida? Yes or no? Okay. Well, is your lot larger than an acre? Because if it's less than an acre, you've got to use nitrogen assisted septics, right? And that's going to cost triple. But anyhow, just as an example, like that community access and that network is huge. And that example, and that's an operational example in terms of just community access to push you forward. We got guys, one of the land shark guys that did $1 million in land last year. That's in the group, and
That's
having
who's
him in
helping
the
me
group,
with my. That's
and
who's helping me with
having
my Florida lots.
yeah, and having him, part of the group, just sharp guy, like pushing people along, like that's invaluable.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's the power of proximity. I never understood that until I started hanging out with other people in these masterminds, these communities, and the weekly and the monthly calls. We talked about those. Guys, this is over $100,000 worth of value. Obviously, we're not charging $100,000. Next slide, please. Go to thelandsharks.com. If you want to talk more about this, me, Robert, or Chris will call you. That's thelandsharks.com. Schedule a call, set it up. Even if you don't want to join and it's maybe now's not the right time or funding's not available to you, whatever. I just had a lady right before, Laura, I hope she doesn't mind me saying her name. She's in 2 other programs that said, you definitely don't want to join this one. Like you need to focus. Like when you're ready, call me. So go to thelandsharks.com. Schedule a call, fill out the application. If for some reason that doesn't work and you just want to text one of us, I'll drop my cell phone in there, which it will work. But some people just like to, text. But I'm going to drop my phone number in here too.
Brent, I'm just going to drop a link to your site in there too.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, I guess Robert did it.
Oh, calendar. Does that
A
work?
little bit
I've
slow.
never seen that one.
So,
Oh, there we go. Sweet.
if you're interested, book an appointment or book on the calendar here. We'll make it happen. But let's stop. We've got 5 minutes left, and I can hang on for a minute longer. What questions do y'all have? And these can be questions about how to do land home deals, or it can be questions about the program.
I've been talking to you about, I'm in Chicago, but we're doing our first deal down in South Carolina. I've got a little bit of a network in Arizona. Once we find someone in, Florida, Arizona, is it needed or beneficial to get our own license, or can we just hook up with someone who's already licensed?
I would tell you, I think it's a great way to get started to utilize other people's license. I think what I would say is long term, if you're going to have a long term commitment to it, I would get your own license long term. It's going to save you some money and give you more flexibility in the future. Now, I tell you that, meanwhile, if you buy homes from me, I'll make a little bit of money, right? But just truthfully and honestly, having your own license long term is a good plan.
Okay, appreciate
I don't
that.
have a license. I'm using other people's licenses in Florida. Eventually, I plan to get one, but I don't have one right now.
And in some states, there's a number of years experience requirement, right? So in South Carolina, you got to have 2 years experience. So it may be a deal where for 2 years you need to utilize someone else's license.
Right, and I know Arizona, you have to be a resident, so that knocks me out of the water for that one too. So
we got a guy that's licensed in the mobile home league as well.
Okay,
for Arizona.
Mike, did you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to know, in what circumstances do you guys do the NonBrick Foundation versus, the brick and everything is, I guess, FHA?
Yeah. So FHA requirement is simply a hard, I don't know the exact technical term, but a hard surface. That could be brick, that could be concrete board, and that could even be vinyl with a structure behind it.
Okay.
We've used brick and we've used concrete board, and I could show you a couple different examples, but we prefer brick. Brick for us in the area we're in is only, probably $1,500 more than concrete board. The reason we tried concrete board is because sometimes brick is delayed by weather, and I don't like being delayed. And so concrete board's a lot faster, and sometimes speed wins.
Well, I seen your Liberty project with the two side by side.
Yeah.
One's concrete board, one's brick. So I
Right.
was curious why you did the one concrete board, I guess.
At that point, it was more speed.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, we're still sitting here and it's not listed yet because we had some septic tank issues. But we probably could have done brick, but it is what it is now.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if there was like another reason, different type of buyer you were targeting, or different type of financing, or.
No,
Fair enough.
it's really honestly the only reason for us is speed.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
But when I did the concrete board, I think the brick mason, and he's a great guy. I really like him a lot. But I think he kind of got the message, and so I felt like we've been more prioritized at this point.
Well, maybe it was worth it then.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah, that's all. I was curious about that. That's all.
Cool. Good to see you. Let's get together sometime.
Absolutely.
Mike is a mobile home park guru over in Laconia. Where's your park? It's Westminster, right?
Westminster, yeah.
// aviation expert. Are you still working in Jersey?
Yeah, I am, and that's why I was laughing when I heard how many you guys were doing. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, yeah, no, don't want to get nowhere near that amount, but yeah, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna buy some land hopefully next month.
Okay, cool.
I've been looking at a few pieces, and we'll get going and see what we can do.
Okay. All right. Other questions? Well, if you don't have any questions, then reach out, schedule on that link. If you forget the link, it's just thelandsharks.com, and we'd be happy to have a conversation with you and see what we can do. All right, everybody have a great day.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for jumping on.
See
Thanks,
ya.
guys. Great
Bye.
presentation.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Bill.
Bill.
Yes.